If I could only talk to 21-year-old me.
I don't even know quite right what actually, I do know what I would say. And
If I could only talk to 21-year-old me.
yeah, I don't even know quite right what actually, I do know what I would say. And I would say to my 21-year-old self, or do I want to say to my 21-year-old self, or do I want to say to my teenage self?
I say 21 because some of the things that I want to say, like if I'm going to talk to people on a platform, I need them to be 21 to talk about. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so that's why I picked 21 as the age to like.
Yeah, so if I say 21-year-old me, you are going to go through a lot of growth, but you're still going to be very fearful, because what hangs in the back of your brain is the idea of security, or at least having a situation where you can provide security for yourself. And there are some things that you didn't do because you were afraid to, but knowing what that fear came from. Because I know where that fear came from.
Right.
And and I talk about it because I get and remember it from RuPaul's Drag Race, right? RuPaul says, who is your inner saboteur? Right? And she said that in an episode, and I was like, yeah, you know what? What is that inner saboteur of mine that is telling me that for whatever reason I'm not worthy? And so for me, it was the shame first. The shame of being black, because I was black before I was anything else. But the way I grew up in the 70s, 80s, that was my underground years, development years. And so everything was very whitewashed. But then also the way, my parent and grandparents and extended family raised us was to work twice as hard as the white man so you can even be looked at, right?
Yeah.
But there was nothing that looked like me. And everything that did look like me was really portrayed as negative. So I had a lot of shame of who I was as a person in the United States. So
you
that
tell
was one.
21-year-old self, yeah.
Yeah, I tell my 21-year-old self that you have so much more worth, and there's that shame, that the fear that came from that shame of you not believing that you were worthy because of the color of your skin. And I wish I could have the strength that I do now to tell that person that no, you can fight through that, but there still was so much that was different. Right? And then gay.
Yeah.
And then the shame of being gay.
Yeah. Well, I would pick shame too, but kind of in a different context. I think when I was in my 20s as a woman, I felt ashamed for wanting to do things sexually that now I wouldn't live without. It's like back then when, I don't know if it was the times, or I think it has a little bit to do with younger women, we just worry about it too much. We worry about pleasing other people too much when it really is about pleasing yourself first. And I feel like I slut-shamed myself. I slut-shamed other women back then when I was younger. And I just wish I could tell myself, like, quit worrying about it. If you want to do that and it feels good, you should do it. And you shouldn't let somebody say, oh, only those girls do that.
Right.
Or only those girls don't. You should do what you want to do. And that's very liberating to feel that way now. I think a lot of it comes with me just being almost 50, I think a lot of women come into their sexuality, when they're in their 50s, but yeah.
Some of them do.
Some of them do. I hope, and that's one thing that I hope to talk about on this channel a little bit, is just what it is like now to be a woman who is almost 50, and what that means for you, what it means for me. Because for me, it does have a lot to do with sex. My sex life is better than ever, so that's
Right.
one avenue that I want to talk about.
Well, you're talking about living your best life.
Yes, exactly.
How do you go through? How do you go about living your best life? But as you were talking and saying that not being able to be you, that person you are, you know where that comes from, right? Especially in America, you know where all of that has been pushed through.
Oh,
and that's
sure.
Religion.
Oh,
right?
absolutely.
The church.
The shame.
The
Yes, that's what I'm
church
saying. Shame
tells
is
you,
the
and
the
the
thing that we have in
church
common there.
is the one that's giving you all
In
this
our
shame
answer.
and
Common in our
making you
answer.
think that everything you are doing and who you are as a
Yes.
person is wrong.
Yes.
It's fundamentally wrong.
But it's not wrong for a man, though. A lot of things that were wrong and shameful for a woman
Well,
were
absolutely,
necessarily wrong
absolutely,
for a man.
because they pull that, all of these things that the women were not supposed to do, like, well, in the Old Testament, if you were menstruating, I couldn't sit in the same chair as you.
No, you had to go in a tent.
But anyway,
We need to get screw it.
That's all that. But
Yeah.
it's being able to live your best life.
Yeah.
Living your truth. And it took me 50 years to get to that point. I was working towards it in my 40s and really getting to this place.
But even then, I still learn things. I've learned things in the past 3 or 4 years about myself that I didn't know. If you would have asked me when I was in my 20s, if I was 45 years old, would I still have things to learn about myself? I'd be like, whatever. Of course I'll have it all figured out. What do you mean? I'd be like almost dead, And I just to tell people that you really do develop and grow. And, my kids are out of the house now, and that's another whole level of growth that you go through. So, yeah.
Well, I don't have the kids and never was going to have the children.
Right.
That wasn't my thing. I have
But
children in a different way.
Different points of view on our channel, which makes our channel fabulous.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And
the different perspectives that we bring.